Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
You might not be looking forward to turning like 85 years old, but if I told you could say basically anything you wanted and no repercussions, would that make a difference? We'll get to that in a couple of seconds. Here comes the podcast.
Good morning. I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Now, how long ago was it that you lost Mom?
A year and a half ago.
All right. I'm so sorry.
Especially with the holidays coming up.
What would you like to ask Psychic Kim?
I'm just wondering if she's not in pain anymore, and if she knew how much I loved her.
Kim, what are we feeling right out of the gate here?
Oh. Ooh. So, first off, I start feeling a little bit of a wall that's up. This can mean a couple different things, so I'm kind of sitting with it here for a sec. There was... she had a little bit of a... how do I want to... a strong belief system when it comes to, like, what if people do right or wrong. A little bit judgmental. I'm going to throw that out there, but I see this wall up as to I'm looking around this wall and I'm like, okay, what did this person say? What did that person say? But then once you get past that wall of her, she's she's a very loving lady, but she struggled with her own self-love is kind of what I keep hearing. And I get my head going down, I get pulled to my heart, and I hear self-love. So I'm trying to go, is this towards you or is this, nope, it's towards her. Oh. And then I get a lot of stuff in the back of my throat and, well, a lot of inflammation going on. And I can feel a lot in my chest right now. So there's definitely, I can feel things going on in that way. Man, she has a little bit of, when you asked if she felt that you knew she loved you, yes, but I do feel that there's some, what I want to call it, either resentments or things were left unsaid. She shows me a wall. So I don't know if you two had a wall that was put up between you two or if there was a distance between you two. But that's kind of what she's showing me, that there was not a good connection at the end of life for her. There's a wall. She does feel very, weird. The word isolated comes to me. That's not a word that normally comes to me. So there's something about feeling isolated. But she also, she did that to herself also.
Yeah, you are describing her exactly. She did feel very isolated. And I was going to have her move in with me toward the end of her life. And she got here, and I was planning on having all these trips and doing all these things with her. And we never got the chance to do that because she died 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. She's... Yeah. Who's... It sounds like Tracy is kind of what I keep hearing. Like Tracy... Macy, Casey, I don't know, something that sounding name is kind of what's coming to me. And then I get pulled to a ring. I know where this is going. Your mom is a little helper. Disregard her for you on that one. We'll find out later in the segment on this one, by the way. What else? I kind of like her in that aspect. She'd rather help other people than she'd rather do for herself. She would feel like a inconvenience for you. So she's doing just fine. I don't feel like any anger towards you, but I do still feel like she is trying to find where her love is. She really hasn't. She loves people, don't get me wrong. All of a sudden I get an image of all these, like, what I would call heaven and Jesus and all these angels. Like, I see all that. Whoa, I feel that. Like, yes, there's love. She's surrounded by love, but yet her inner love she's still trying to find.
Is this giving you some
and then I get
conclusion or a type of closure?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, and everything you said describes her perfectly. She always struggled with self-love, and
Yeah.
she would always do everything for everybody else before herself.
Okay.
All right. Well, hey, thanks, Jamie.
Yeah.
I hope this helped, and I hope you can kind of stroll through the holidays with a little bit more perspective.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great morning. That was
welcome.
deep. Hi, Danielle. How you feeling?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Now, you want to know about a potential third baby? Is that what you're asking about?
Yeah. Yes, me and my husband have two healthy, happy kids, and I think my husband is content with just our two, but sometimes I have that initial longing for a third, and I'm just wondering if that is the right decision or what our future looks like.
Kim, her loins are screaming. Should she have another baby? This is a lot of pressure, by the way, Kim.
Right. No, I can tune in a few different ways when it comes to children. Sometimes I can actually see an energy, like a spirit wanting to come in right away, and it's like, okay, you have somebody there that really wants to come in. Other times I'll get images of like a baby bump, and I'm not getting either of these. You are correct. Your husband is content, but he would totally welcome in another child if you did get pregnant. I will tell you that. But when it comes to you guys having another child, this is what I'm going to tell you. If you are, it's not going to be right away. I hear, oops, I did it again.
Uh-oh.
So if anything, it's going to be one that will come a little bit later where there's a little bit of a gap and wasn't planning on it. They're like, that's how the next one should be. It's not set in stone, but it's not supposed to be anything like planned.
Can we stop insinuating that babies are accidents? Like, you can avoid.
Sometimes
they're
they
not.
are.
They are very avoidable. I have avoided it for 11 years.
I think that's because
If you want to have one,
think God sees how
have
bad of a
one.
mother you are for this one and doesn't want to.
Yeah, we can't do that again. Well,
It's
have
kind of
fun
like
trying.
when,
I
you know,
guess.
you go. I have somebody I know who went to Vegas, and it's like, you know, you do everything to protect yourself, and
Nope. No.
somebody suits skin, and it's like that's a
Kim,
soul
stop.
that really wants to be
The
here.
best goalies get scored on. The best goalies get scored
right.
on. So, Danielle, looks like you guys could, should, maybe will want to, but it probably won't happen right away.
What situations are you putting
Right.
yourself in where your tubes are crying, where you're just like longing for a baby? Are they baby showers? Maybe you don't go to baby showers anymore.
No, I think I've just always dreamt of 2 to 3 kids, and my oldest is now in preschool, so getting older where he's out of the house more and full days at school, and my youngest, all of a sudden, it just seems like he kind of grew up overnight, and I miss that baby stage.
She's
Yeah.
bored. You're
She's
bored.
not bored. I know what you're saying. You love the smell of babies. I love the smell of babies, but then I love the smell of money.
I love the smell of other
money.
people's babies at this point. So go on with your bad self and go get pregnant, Danielle.
I did do this really like insane travel situation on the holidays before I met Derek, and it's something that I think about often now that like VRBOs and Airbnbs are much bigger than they used to be. But when I was living in California and I was working and editing those trailers for movies and stuff, that was one of my favorite jobs ever. You could be creative and really like create excitement for people to want to see the movies.
Man,
So
you get to see them all first.
yeah, and I worked closely with this guy, and I told him, I'm like, I am done with this relationship that I'm in. You hold down the fort. I'm gonna go ahead and so I got this like Airbnb style house in London, outside of London. It was like a suburb. And I remember getting there and I'm like, this is beautiful. This is exactly what I wanted. I just needed like a brain break. And the woman whose house it was, she swapped houses with me. So she was living in my house. I was living in hers. Everything was going really well. She kind of needed that break too. She was dating someone that she was working with. She worked at a newspaper and he ended up getting engaged to somebody else. And she found out at the company party and it was just horrible. And so I'm sitting there one day in this cute little quaint cottage and I get a knock at the door and it was her brother who like was such a smoke show and he didn't realize that she had gone to California to kind of live at my house and take a break for the holidays. And so I started hanging out with him, and he had 2 daughters. And here I was thinking he was a married man. So I got all upset. And
hold that thought.
we had
Just
such
real
a
quick,
great
1 second. Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What can we do for you? You know, you're breaking up Kat's story here.
Yeah, thanks.
Is she describing the holiday?
I am.
Yeah, nice job.
JJ didn't know. I didn't tell him what movie it was.
I've never seen this movie.
It's with Kate Winslet, Cameron Diaz, Jack Black is in it. Is it Jude Law? Is the guy,
Jude
right?
Law. It's real. I love that movie.
Did I tell you that Judy has called off Thanksgiving?
Well, I think you mentioned it yesterday, maybe while we were talking to somebody on the phone. So this is your husband's mom called off their family Thanksgiving, but you're still hosting a Thanksgiving feast, right?
This Sunday, I'm doing my family's, and then on Thanksgiving, we always go to Judy and Rance's, and she's been through like a lot of stuff with contractors and everything on her property after that huge hailstorm. And they just kind of gave her just this runaround. And it really made her, she's a lot like Derek, where if you throw a wrench into something, it's just kind of, they'll get it together, but it's a lot, you know? And she just kind of needs a break, I think. And so we're just doing us 3. The last time we had to do that was the pandemic. And that was it. And we FaceTimed with all the family. We Zoomed. We Zoom ate.
Good times.
Yeah. And so I had made this huge spread. And so I asked the boys, I go, it literally is whatever you want, I will make. Or if you just want to mail it in and get Chinese food and watch a movie.
I would do Chinese food.
That's what they
Is that what they want? Yeah.
I found out this morning. Derek's like,
orange chicken and beef and broccoli and some lo mein. Might as well get after
some
it.
General Tso.
Yeah.
I am all about this. And then, so I'm doing really well on my diet. And like, I talked to my Livia guy and he's like, this is how you might want to approach Thanksgiving. So I got that in my mind. But I'm kind of living for the actual day of Thanksgiving because that's the day we're going to get Chinese.
Big cheat day and then you just let loose, right?
But it feels weird. It feels like, you know, kind of like we're doing something wrong, even though everyone is like okay with it. I don't know.
Well, I think you can take a page from Ralphie, and for their Christmas dinner, they do Chinese food. So if he could do it, why couldn't you?
So maybe we do that and we watch let's really get crazy and watch like a horror movie.
Are you
instead of a Christmas movie?
Are you sure that where are you thinking about going? Like Panda?
That's the thing. I don't even know if anything's open.
That was going to be my concern. Is something open, or do you have to order it the day before and then just kind of maybe?
We'll probably decide
reheat
on a place to eat from. There's a really good place in Becker.
Okay.
So we'll see, but they have funky hours. So I'll have to call and order, and that'll be. I'm not mad at it. We're gonna do the wishbone walk around in the morning.
Yeah.
Do some chores around the house and then meet up for some Chinese food.
Right. If you do the run, then you can eat all the Chinese food you want.
And I'll still be hungover from blackout on Wednesday when I go back to my hometown and get after it at Serums.
You are doing a healthy dose of adulting next week.
Don't you feel like I'm kind of living? I'm kind of living life.
About time.
Yeah, it is about time.
Bingo! How fun!
Last week, someone lost an eye at bingo. Bingo!
Bingo what bingo? Bingo!
Bingo! All right, so here's how listener bingo works. The phones are currently on hold, so you can't get through. But once you hear both of our scenarios and what we're looking for, we want to get you on the radio. And we get the Kat, for instance, gets the bingo today if you're the first person that we pick up and
you have quit something lately. Was it a job? Was it like I don't know,
marriage,
a pickleball league, a marriage? What did you quit lately? Because Jeff, is it Probst from Survivor? He has been hosting this for 45 years or 45 seasons, not years, but he has seen, and a lot like, you know, older people where they're like, the young ones are just not as committed as we used to be in jobs and stuff like that. They're quitting. He's seeing that on Survivor.
In fact, I want to declare right here that from this point forward, if you're a Survivor player and you quit, your torch will not be snuffed. That's over. To get your torch snuffed, you got to play the game.
No, they like that, right? It's their moment.
Yeah.
All right. So you're looking for anyone, the first person to call that
has quit anything lately. He just sees it too often now. He's like, it's not even a show. You just quit. So
I'm looking for the first person that can call who, like my man Danny DeVito, who has a birthday today.
All the kids in the neighborhood knew I got sent upstate. So they started calling me Frankie Donkey Brains. And it was very traumatic. So I got my mommy to drive me back up to the loony bin where they signed this official certificate exonerating me of all donkey brains.
I'm looking for...
What are you looking for?
The first person to call who's 4'10" or under. All right?
Okay.
Danny DeVito stands straight up without osteoporosis at 79 years old at 4 feet 10 inches
But
tall.
he doesn't have dwarfism or anything like that. So are there parameters to your question
Nope.
today?
You just got to be 18 or older.
Okay.
And be 4'10" or under.
Got it.
So, April, who's getting the bingo here?
Cat is.
Oh, okay. So what have you quit lately?
I quit smoking.
Oh, hey, congratulations.
Hey.
How long ago?
Thank you. What was that?
How long ago did you quit?
It's been about 3 weeks now.
Okay.
Good job. So I mentioned earlier that when I tell people just quit smoking, it's not a non-smoker. I know how hard it is. You get that like when you go to quit smoking, it's like a 2-week cold that you get. You know, your body's like, where's my nicotine? And then it gives you an ailment almost. And then when you start smoking again, it goes away. So I get why people try to quit and then they go back to it. So good job.
What was your motivation? Was it just for your health or was it something different?
Yeah, it's just for my health, just over it. And, thankfully the smell just grosses me out now.
Oh, so now you have
Yeah,
it's
that's
like an
true.
anti-motivation because you've turned that into a, hey, I never want to smell like this again.
Exactly.
Right on, right. How long were you a smoker?
Oh, probably 10 years.
Yeah, all right. So Kat talks often about, how expensive it is, but like you're in your 3rd week of not smoking. You know that your lungs are beginning to already regenerate good, healthy tissue. And like I think they say in 3 months, between 3 months and a year, depending on how long and how much you smoked, your lungs are going to be back to the way they were 25 years ago.
What's going to be the toughest scenario for you to be in and not smoke? Is it like at the end of the day or a stiff drink?
Yeah, probably if I have a drink or so.
Okay.
Especially if I'm around people having a drink.
Yeah. Well, are most of your friends smokers?
Not too many, actually.
So you got a good support system going there. And then final question. Do you find that you had something that got you over the edge? Did you patch, gum, shots, therapy? I mean, like what helped you get to the point where you just quit? Or was it cold turkey?
It was just cold turkey. You just have to really be over it.
That is
good
so
for you.
impressive.
And for quitting, you won today. Good job.
Congratulations. You get the bingo, so does Kat, and we're really proud of you. So stick with it. And if you ever need, hey, by the way, we offer this to listeners all the time. If you ever need somebody and you feel a moment of weakness to talk you out of it and maybe cuss at you or call you names or be super derogatory towards you, you call us any morning and we'll yell at you and make sure you stay away from the cigarettes, okay?
Anytime.
I might take you up on that.
Okay.
There you go. Congratulations. Have a great day today. Hey, right away at 6:05 Friday morning during the live show, we're going to give you another chance to get on the party plane to paradise and go to Mexico with us. 5 days, 4 nights. It's all inclusive. You want to go to Mexico, you get up early Friday morning with the Playhouse. Right now, let's get you back into the podcast.
I am feeling really good. Got all of my Christmas shopping done yesterday.
Shut up. All of it?
All of it. And then I ordered a couple of balsam fir potted plants for the outside of my house from Woods. So I have to go pick those up on Friday. I'm excited about those. Sadly, I get too excited about balsam fir potted plants. And you know what? I have my list of what I want from the boys. Like they get $100 to go buy me some stuff.
So
whatever.
just so I fully understand the cadence here, you give your husband and your son each $100.
No, they have $100.
Okay, so together they get $100 to buy you a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
And then you tell them what you want to spend the $100 on.
Why would I not? Why would I want to open something that I don't want? So they're getting me a Stanley because I want to be part of that
You are
crowd.
Such a...
And I want 2 really cool candles from TJ Maxx, and then whatever money they have left over, I just want like under eye patches. I am such a simple girl when it comes to gifts. I really don't crave gifts, but I really want this Stanley. And so they're going to go get that. And Derek looks at the money. He's like, how can I possibly get all of that for $100? I'm like, it's very easy. I shop all the time. I know what prices are. I know how things are priced, so just go and do it. Don't ask any questions.
Doesn't it take the fun out of it not knowing what you're going to get for Christmas, though?
I have more fun gifting.
Oh.
That's where my joy and fun comes from.
Fun opening stuff and not knowing what it's going to be and be like, oh, you thought of me that way. I didn't have to give you a list of what I wanted.
And then I went and tied up Derek's gift. Derek has to buy for his mom this year. So I had to tell Derek what he bought for his mom. He's like, oh, nice.
This is...
I know. He does this song and dance every year. And like, maybe it doesn't bother me. Maybe deep down I'm going to yell at him about it one day. But it's like he'll sit on the couch and everyone will open their stuff. They're like, thank you so much. And before me, he'll go, you're so welcome.
I thought you'd love that.
Yeah. I love that you love what I got you. And like, it's a joke, but it's not a joke because I get really sad. Like, I did it. I put in all the work, but I don't hold on to anything. So I'm all ready to go.
And it's only a week away from Thanksgiving, and you got all your Christmas shopping done.
Winning.
My home stretch, that's all the further I got left.
So you're doing a whole week of no food?
Yeah, 5 days.
That's
120
so
hours.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's going well. Listen, if you ever think about doing this, here's the reason I wanted to talk about it a little bit this morning. Don't go grocery shopping. So, like, my wife got a new job, and she's like, can you take over the grocery shopping? I said, absolutely, I'd love to. Usually when I come home from the gym, I'll just keep my AirPods in. I'll go grocery shopping. Yesterday, head to Costco.
Yeah.
The wrong place to go as you're 3 days into a 5-day fast.
Do they have samples? Amazing samples.
Tons of samples.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
usually, you take a sample, right?
Yeah.
I'd have to go, no, thank you. And they look at you.
My God.
They look at you like you are an alien. They're like, you don't want some peach cobbler? I'm like, I would love some peach cobbler right now. I can't, though, because...
You turned down a little smoky?
Oh, my God. I turned down everything yesterday.
Wow.
And then I get home, and I had to unpack it all because I'm, like, the only one at the house now. And the dog's looking at me like, why aren't you eating this, man?
Yeah.
And then everybody came home for a quick dinner last night, and I'm like, oh, I would really close to just cashing in and saying 3 days was good enough. Mm-hmm. And I said, if I can just get to bedtime, I can lay down, and everything's going to be all right. What's difficult about this? Two things really, really hard. Number one, sleeping. Like, you don't get good sleep when you're on an extended fast. I don't know why it is. Because, I mean, your body's just burning through fat.
Yeah.
You're, like, in deep ketosis. And the other thing is you got to take some salt in your water. Because otherwise your electrolytes get all jacked up. It's bad news, man. I could start feeling it happen yesterday. I took the dog for a walk, and I feel like I was like missing wires. You know what I mean? Like when you're just not completely on.
How'd you do with those amazing cookies and massive loaf of bread? And I walked by it.
I didn't even see
4
them.
times. I did. I saw them. Consciously walked by them. Didn't take a bite.
Only cravings I have right now, I crave bananas like nobody's business. I want a banana really, really bad. And chicken. I want chicken and sriracha with some broccoli like nobody's business. And
Are people looking like the food you want when you walk down the street?
No, and the other thing is, I rarely will smoke a cigar, but like during the summer when we're out on the pontoon or something like that, but I've had immense cravings for a cigar. And I think it's an oral fixation, right? You're used to eating something. I don't have any cigars, so I haven't smoked any, but if I had one, I'd be smoking it right now.
Really?
Yeah. That's the first thing I thought about when I woke up this morning. I turned on the shower and I was like, I wish I had a cigar to smoke in the shower.
I can't relate to anything you're talking about today.
What's trending?
All right, trending is this grandmother who is, I think, the age of 106, sitting in the car with her 38-year-old unmarried granddaughter, and she had something to say about it.
I'm 38.
I've never been married. You sure missed a lot of life.
Why do I have to get married and have kids to have a good life?
You do have no good life.
I do.
You don't go nowhere.
I do. I just got back from a trip.
By yourself, no man.
By yourself.
If you don't have a man, you ain't nothing.
Really? I'm not nothing without a man, huh?
I had a husband, tell you that, huh?
I still have sex.
I know you do, but that's not right. That's dirty. Sleeping around like a...
Whoa.
It's one person. One person.
Sleeping around like a...
Dang.
It rhymes with snore.
Yeah. No, it rhymes with mutt.
Oh, was it?
Rut.
Oh, I thought, got it.
Yeah, just a lovely, lovely thing coming out of grandma's mouth. Has an older person ever just like taken you aback where you're like, I can't believe you just said that?
My grandmother Maxine had told me really young. She died when I was like 13 or 14, but I remember her telling me, you'll never be happy if you live in a big city. So she grew up in like a town of like 45 people in South Dakota.
Yeah.
And like her schoolhouse was literally Little House on the Prairie. They had all 1st through 12th graders or kindergarten through 12th graders in one little church.
Yeah.
And that was
crazy.
the entire thing. And I would always say, like, I was young and I was like, I got to get to a bigger city. I don't want to grow up in this little city. I got to get out of Belle Plaine, Minnesota. She's like, you'll never be happy in a big city. Too much happens there. And I'm like, no, I'm happy.
No, it's really weird. Okay, so my mother-in-law told me this story one time. She went to school in Jordan, and they would have to put on helmets, and the teachers would send the kids up on the roof to look for bombs.
Oh, yeah, back during the, I
How
believe
crazy
that.
is that? And then my grandma, Katie, one time, she met Matt, my boyfriend that I initially had when I started here.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's go meet my grandma for the first time. So I bring him to her apartment that she lived in, and we walk in, and she gives him a hug, and then she turns to him and says, she's put on a few, huh?
Oh.
And I was like so skinny. I was like, I had no words. And he stood up for me. He was like, no, she hasn't. No, I mean, you see, Niall, I love her so much, but I could not believe this old person said that. So, yeah, that's what's trending.
Talking about Patrick Mahomes. What color is his every day? Or at least every Sunday when you watch Patrick Mahomes, you can guarantee that he's wearing what kind of underwear?
They're like red, what are they? Superhero underwear. And they are his lucky underwear. And I think it was like a conversation we had a couple of years ago where I was like, the oldest pair of underwear I had was going on almost 20 years because the girl I stole them from, we called her up.
Yeah, she came on the show and she didn't even realize that you had been stealing her panties when you were her roommate. And
don't buy nice panties and they won't get stolen.
It's your fault for having nice things.
Yeah.
So as we were talking about this yesterday, one of the calls that we didn't get to air that I thought you'd probably want to hear was from Kelly. And immediately, I just picked up the phone. I said, hey, good morning. It's Kat and JJ. And this is what she said.
How can you put a date on them if you don't wear any?
Oh, so you go commando. I got you.
I'm commando. I've been commando for, oh, my God. I can't stand wearing underwear. I can never find any that don't creep.
That literally grosses me the hell out. I can't believe that women walk around with no underwear.
Oh, I'm sorry. I started doing it because my butt looked better with no panty lines.
I think what you need to understand first is that Kat is just projecting anger on you because, let's just say, biohazard would be a word we'd all know a little bit more if she decided to go this way. So I think she's just angry.
Oh, well, I don't have anything hazardous going on down there.
Good for you. Fine. Nobody likes a bragger. I want you to hear this in case this ever happens to you. This is kind of crazy. It was a bank error that netted a woman $50,000. Okay, so she opens up her bank account, sees that somebody had deposited $49,700. So she did all the right things. She contacted the bank.
I called the bank and I was like, hey, I got a wire notification, but they were insisting that there was no mistake. So then I went and I saw a lawyer. He said, report it again, document everything, don't touch any of the money for 30 days. And he told me to post it somewhere public. So I don't know if it was a newspaper or something to that effect. And he said, if they don't claim it, then it's yours. And that's exactly what happened.
So is that kind of the same as if you find a wallet and it's got no identification, but it's got $5,000 in it, the same route you go?
I guess. Or you could bring it to the police station and who knows what they'll do with it.
With all of the tracking we can do electronically, you would have thought that they could have found out. Now, I'm guessing she didn't want to find out where this money came from because $50,000 is $50,000, man.
She seemed pretty honest about contacting the bank instead of spend. Don't ever spend it if you have a large sum of money in there because you will have to pay it back.
I just can't believe the bank couldn't find out where that wire transfer came from.
Yeah, maybe they just know if it's legit or not. And then they're like, well, it wasn't an error on our part, so somebody is out $50,000.
It's the American Cancer Society's Great American Smokeout.
Quit smoking at least for one day.
For many Americans, it's the day they quit smoking.
Listen,
today?
It is today, and this is coming from a former smoker. I smoked, 16 years ago, and gave it all up for the man I love, okay? And I know how hard it is. I do not tell you to stop smoking because I'm just somebody that has never smoked. I get it, okay? But it's so expensive. And you could die. $10.49 per pack right now is the current Minnesota price per pack of cigarettes, okay? So a pack a day, if that's your habit for a year, $3,821. You'd be on the party plane to paradise with us, plus have extra money for the spa. Probably upgrade to first class.
I think one of the things a lot of people don't understand is how quickly your lungs will start to regenerate good, healthy tissue once you quit. I mean, your body wants to repair itself, but you gotta quit. If you can find a way, guys. I mean, there's, I don't know, whether it's the patch or the gum, or I'm sure is there a pill now?
There's a ton of ways. There are a ton of resources. So if you look down at the pack of cigarettes right now that might be in your center console, and you're like, this might be my last one. Make it your last one.
You got this. You can do it.
You got this. Yes. A 57-year-old woman from Mississippi has been accused of crashing weddings in 3 states. Okay. So what she does is she'll look for a wedding reception. She'll look the part. So she gets all dressed up.
Okay.
And then she'll find where all the money and cards are sitting, like a big card box. And she'll just go through them.
Was able to identify this woman. It seems to be an ongoing thing, maybe an addiction or something that she just feels like that nobody will ever catch on to.
Every single video that they have of her, she's not very sneaky. She'll just like walk up to the box and
I think that's part of the grift is to be pretty blatant about it and just look like you belong there.
I guess. Like, I'm just here to make sure all this stuff gets to where it's supposed to go.
I'm the sister-in-law. I'm just going to grab the stuff and move it around real quick. Most people are going to go, okay, no problem. Thanks.
The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend.